Hi everyone, this is Heather Lynn. I am so excited today to stand in front of my clients, Richard and Swapnil's house. They have spent the last 2 years renovating this home to a point that I didn't even recognize it when I first pulled up. They are so generous with their time today to share with me what they did to the house. So without further ado, let's come inside and take a tour.
So as we were in the planning phase with our architect, we found that there's a notch at the entry that we could expand into, increase our square footage, which helps us increase the value of the home, make our spendings go along, and also create this canvas for a high ceiling, warm, welcoming entry into a foyer with a chandelier, and also created the opportunity to go from a 3-bed, 2-bath house to now a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom house.
So this is a new space that we added. This was part of exterior and we increased the square footage of the house. So this is completely new bathroom, and the tiles, we got them designed from Floor & Decor. The best part is the design service is free and they help you visualize on the computer app how the tile combinations are going to look like. And we selected a very trendy wood-looking panel that goes with these tile and the gold fittings. So everything just blends in together really well right now. The second important aspect of this bathroom is the ventilation that we added. Since this is an exterior wall, we had an opportunity to add a window, and so we went ahead and did that. It really adds in some natural lighting and ventilation. And I think the last and the best feature I think is we added a lot of lighting. It really glamps up the area. It elevates the look of the bathroom. We have some LED niche lights here and LED lights under the vanity, and just the lighting around in this area, it just blends in really well. So this is my favorite bathroom.
So this is my favorite part of the house. As you can see, we have created a open great room concept. The idea was that this is where we will spend the most amount of time as family, as well as hosting people. So I wanted to make sure that this is the space where we put our most thoughts and most energy, and of course, most fun into. The number one thing that we had to do to create this warm and inviting space was to delete a few walls. We had an architect plan it properly to make sure everything is done structurally the proper way. Structural engineer involved in the background. They took care of making sure what kind of support is going to be needed. I took care of making sure what is the kind of look we're going for. Since this was an old house, we also like to make sure we raise the ceilings to really make it feel bigger, not just bigger laterally, but bigger vertically. And then to further enhance the amount of natural light, which has a huge role to play, we added a couple of skylights to bring in more natural light all year round. So the skylights make sure we get a lot of natural light during the day. It also gives a very nice accent to the ceiling. They were strategically placed to make sure we get more light in the winter and less heat in the summer. And then on this side, as you can see, it opens up nicely into the kitchen and the dining in this area. So when you have a party, it's one big party. Everybody is part of all the conversations. You could be in the kitchen, you don't miss out. You could be dining, you don't miss out of the conversation. My favorite part about this layout is at the end of the day, when you come home, you want to relax, watch my favorite TV show, and I can do that from anywhere in this area. I can do it while just sitting on the couch, I can do it while cooking, and I can also do it while eating. So this area was strategically designed with where the TV would be positioned in mind. Another favorite aspect of the dining area is this was actually expanded out. So we were increasing square footage and therefore value. Also built it higher than usual, built a tray ceiling to give it a nice accent. And the sliding door is actually in accordion style, so it can fully open so that when you have summer parties, you can have a very nice indoor-outdoor setup where you have a big canvas to host people, and people indoors feel very connected to the people outdoors. So it doesn't feel like there's two parties going on. It's one big party always. Over here in the kitchen, the island is obviously the central part. When we had breakfast, we added some accent lights that were custom made just for this. Also increased the height of the ceiling to make it more open and welcoming. And we got appliances that are very minimalistic to finish up the look. The extended island was actually an afterthought, wanting an island bigger than it actually was after we installed. And we thought, okay, it's too late. We can't extend it as is, but we could complement it by giving it a wood extension. As you can see, it's giving it a nice stone wood contrast going. The kitchen is your work area where you want to have the most amount of light. You're going to be cooking, chopping vegetables, and light is an important part of making sure you feel good about cooking here. So we wanted to make sure we face the crowd. That's why we put the cooktop facing the dining living area. We have lights under the cabinets, running through the cabinets, and also in the tool kick. We also have lights running through the ceiling. And then, not to mention, we have these beautiful chandelier lights. So overall, the lights has really taken up the look of the kitchen to another level that even in my planning, I would not have imagined would come out so well. Right. So I think my top lesson would be for a project of this scale to set a realistic budget. Everybody starts off with a number in mind that they're willing to spend. But the reality of it is you're almost always going to spend a little bit more than what you set out with. And that's okay, because as you're in the midst of it, you're going to get new ideas. You're going to get surprises. Old houses, you don't know what's behind a wall sometimes. And all of that just means extra payments. And making sure that you're spending on the right things so that you're, at the end of the day, increasing the value of the home is a pretty good perspective to make sure you're spending on the right things and not just wasting crucial funds. And there are strategies you can use to be smart about how you will manage your budget, how you manage your funds. One is obviously having an extra reserve, a secondary reserve you would probably have to tap into. Something that we did was, in addition to that, using interest-free credit cards that you don't have to pay any payments for a year and a half. And so we make purchases on those cards. Home Depot has a credit card that we've used where we don't have to make some large payments for 24 months. Yeah. And strategies like that can help you make up to surprises and make up for costs that were not baked into your initial budget.
So materials are forever part of the home, and at the end of the day, you should be happy living in the house. So definitely choose the best material there and don't cut corners.
The third lesson we learned was about fully thinking through the pros and cons of living in the house while the remodel was going on. A remodel is a time-consuming process, and living through it can come with some pros and cons. On the pros, we didn't have to pay rent while we were also paying mortgage and property tax. We were also able to closely monitor progress and manage expectations from the day-to-day workers. But there are cons too that we learned the hard way. There is dust while there's construction going on. You don't have access to all of your house, obviously. And there is noise. If you're working from home, you need to account for that. Patience is a big part of having a successful remodel. When your space is dusty and noisy, it can get to the best of us. And now that we're finally done with the remodel, we are really happy with the final result, the home that we have created together. Me, my wife, our daughter, our dog. We are, as a family, enjoying the house to its max potential. We host a lot of parties here. We absolutely are loving creating memories with our friends and family. And we finally feel like we're enjoying the fruits of all the hard work, all the persistence through the last several months. It has been very worth it.
Bye.